gel removal. First of all, wash your hands. Once you have done that, take your file with thick grain, and then you're going to go over each nail, and with movements of back and forth, you're going to start creating little ridges. The ridges are going to allow the acetone from getting into the different layers of the gel and start breaking it down, so it's a lot easier to remove. So try to go absolutely everywhere. Be careful not to go too deep, if not you will go as far as the layer of the nail plate is, and that's too far. Make sure as well you don't put too much pressure around the cuticle, because that's quite a sensitive area and you can cut yourself. Perfect. Once you have done that, you're going to take a cotton pad that you're going to generously wet with some acetone, and then you place above your nail. Take a little bit of kitchen foil and then you wrap tightly. Perfect. When you do it yourself, it's a bit awkward, but it's really worth the hassle. Perfect. Let's do this one. There. Perfect. So since I'm doing this demonstration in real time, I'm going to give you a few little tips to make your removal successful. The first thing to take into account is that gels are not all the same. So some gels are going to be easy to remove, whereas some others are going to take a lot longer. So the gel that I'm using today is a CND, and it takes 2, 3, 4 minutes for the gel to start breaking down with the acetone. So when you buy it yourself, you will have to play it by ear and allow more or less time. The second tip is regarding the acetone. The acetone. So it's a very volatile product. It evaporates very quickly. So when you apply your little foil, when you wrap your fingers, you make sure you don't leave too much gap at the end and at the beginning of the foil. If not, the products will evaporate, and when you take it off your finger and you try to remove your gel, the acetone will not have done its action efficiently, and then you will have to reapply a second time. So save yourself a lot of hassle and make sure you do it well the first time. One of the thing I want to point out as well is that a lot of ladies feel very tempted when their gel start growing to start picking at it. Try as much as possible not to do that, because the layers of your nail, you have to imagine that it's like the layers of a fluffy pastry. If you start pulling the gel, it might pull a layer of nail, and that's how you can damage the nail plate. So try to resist that temptation as much as you can. Perfect. So I'm just going to take one of the foil off just to check. All right, so one of the things that you can see straight away, I don't know if you can see very well, but you can see that the gel has already started to lift, and that's a very good sign. So I'm going to take a little cuticle pusher. So I've got here 3 different types. I like personally the metallic one, but you can go for a cuticle stick. You can go for what is known a hoof stick. So I'm just going to demonstrate the 3 of those. They work pretty much the same. It's just a personal preference. So perfect. If I show you the other one, and then you're going to start pushing the gel. Okay, you can see here it comes into bits, and that's good. I don't put that much pressure on the little stick, and that makes the whole removal a lot better. Perfect. If you feel that the gel is giving you grief and you have to insist reapply some acetone, and then repeat the process. Perfect, let's do this one. I'll use my little metallic one. So just trying to push. You can see that this one I've put more layers, so it's a bit harder. Yeah, this one I need to apply a little bit, so I'm going to follow my own advices. To use a new one. Reapply. Apply foil. And then I wait a little bit longer. So on this one, once you've removed the majority of the gel, you still have a little bit of residue, so you're going to use the buffer and you're going to buff any excess. So be sure to be light-handed, you don't want to press too hard. Take the pad of your finger on your other finger to make sure that you don't feel any residue. If it's a bit rough, then apply the buffer. Perfect, feels good. Excellent. So now let's have a look at this one. You can see that more of the gel has lifted, so I'm just going to carry on. You can see it's starting to lift very nicely. So with your little movements, then you just go underneath. So it's pretty straightforward. Excellent. Perfect, I take my buffer, remove any residue, a bit more on the side. That feels good. Now, because the acetone is very drying for the skin and the nail plate, I'm going to use a little bit of oil to rehydrate the area. Perfect, and voila!